All right, FightHype.com. Sean Zittel here. Happy to be joined with the former two-division champion looking to regain a world title August 12th, fighting Emanuel Navarrete, the three-division champion from Mexico, my man Oscar Valdez. And Oscar, I'm excited for this fight. We know we're going to get a great fight between you and Navarrete stylistically. But talking to Navarrete yesterday, he kind of surprised me. He said, on paper or on tape, on video, Valdez looks like the cleaner fighter, sometimes the more skilled fighter. And then he said, I'm not even 100% sure I'm going to win the fight. How do you react to Navarrete's comments there?
I don't know, man. I don't know. It could be a mental game, trying to maybe say something that it's not going to happen, like one of those times where you say, oh, I'm going to go out and bang, and then you do the opposite. You try to outbox your fighter. So I really don't try to pay much attention to what other fighters say. I've never done that. I've never really, every time there's interviews, I've never really liked to listen to what they're saying, only because I know what they're going to try to say, because as fighters, we always train hard to be number one. I've never heard a fighter say, I'm training so hard and now I'm going to become number 2 in the world or number 3 in the world. So it's like, yeah, we all like to think we're going to be the best tool inside the ring. Like when I was, against Shakur, I honestly believed that I was going to beat the fight. I was going to win, and I did everything perfect. It turned out to be the opposite. So it's like us fighters, we like to think that we're going to win. So that's what we have to do. That's what we have to do. And then that's definitely what I like to do. I work hard every single day, and I always tell myself I'm going to win no matter what. Either it's by knockout, either it's by brawling, is it by outboxing, is it by be a dirty fight, is it by whatever. But I'm going to come out victorious. That's the only mentality that I like to think.
Yeah, because Navarrete doesn't strike you as like a big mental gamesmanship guy, but you think maybe it's trying to let sleeping dogs lie.
Yeah. If I were to, this is the first time I've heard it, but if I heard, the first thing that comes to my mind is like, nah, don't pay attention to that. Don't fall in that trap. It's like someone trying to shake your hand and they hit you with an L. So me, it's just staying focused. We've been doing a great job. We're here in Lake Tahoe. Me, Eddie Reynoso, with the whole team, my cousin Bubba, we were just doing a great training camp, as we always do. We go to the gym, work hard, come back, we eat, we sleep, wake up, go back at it again, come back and sleep again, then we repeat the whole day again. So that's all we do right here. It's a work hard mentality. It's very disciplined as far as, it doesn't end. It doesn't end till we train. We gotta continue the diet. We got to do everything how we have to do it, so we are prepared for August 12th.
Let me ask you, him being 28, you being 32 years old now, is he the fresher fighter because he is 4 years younger and he hasn't been in as many championship level wars as you have?
Maybe. I wouldn't know. Because, being honest, I really haven't seen his later fights earlier in his career. We don't know how many wars they really have. I've had a couple of wars already, but being honest, I feel great. I feel great. I don't feel that I'm on declining. I spar young fighters, young amateur fighters, and fighters that are in their 20s, 25s, and they're fast and they're strong. And, I'm in the ring and I'm in the same level as them, and it gets to a point where they get tired after the 4th round. I'm still fresh. They put another one in there, and I'm like, wow, I still feel great. Well, I feel that back in the days, being 30 was being called like you're already old in the sport. But I think nowadays, the 30s and nowadays is not the 30s back in the days. You got so many things nowadays. You got strength and conditioning coaching. You got so much of data of the body, what you can do, how to rest, go to ice baths and come back and eat more clean, and that will give you longevity in the sport. So definitely feel great. And then maybe he's younger than me, 4 years, but a lot of times, we got these veterans who've been the youth, the hungry up and coming fighter. You got a lot of examples where always the veteran beats the young guy. You got now that we're fighting in Arizona is a perfect time to mention this history when Michael Carvajal beat the great Travieso Arce. Travieso Arce was just coming up. He was a younger guy, the prospect, the face of the boxing. And Michael Carvajal said it clear. He said, "You guys are sure you're gonna throw this kid at me?" And he knocked him out. So that just shows, that it doesn't matter sometimes if you're the older fighter or if you're going against a younger fighter. Of course, the younger fighter has advantages of his youth, but the older veteran has the knowledge and the experience to know what to do during the certain round. So I think that could be the case. I would like to think that if that's the case with me, well, I guess I'm the older veteran who's going to be smarter inside the ring and try to just outsmart. I wouldn't say outbox because there's some fights where you can't try to box them. Sometimes you just got to brawl it out. But if we have to brawl, we're going to brawl. We have to outbox, we're going to box. We got to make a dirty fight. We got to make a dirty fight. But the plan is always to win. So we're going to be ready for that.
Be the smarter brawler.
Yes, sir. That's the exact word that I was actually looking for, because we've been in the gym training, and we're not going to run. That's something that we have never tried to do. And we was in there, but we're smarter. Staying in there, you got to. I remember one time talking to Juan Manuel Marquez, and they're telling me you don't have to. You can be in there close to the mid-range and still be a boxer, moving that head, bobbing and weaving, having your hands straight up, and this, and working on those uppercuts. And it was a good advice that he gave me, and it's completely true. To box your opponent, you don't have to be running. You be the smarter brawler inside the ring.
Well said, Oscar. And talking about the technical stuff in this fight, his most famous punch is his his uppercut. And he throws it at a distance most fighters won't feel comfortable throwing it at. And he lands it all the time. And then your best punch is the left hook. Do you think, because he's a little wide and he does throw it from further out than most throw it out, you step inside and land that left hook to negate that uppercut? And what do you just make of his uppercut in general?
I think it's a slicky uppercut that he does. I seen him drop several people with that uppercut, and it's like, man, they don't see it coming. There's got to be a slicky uppercut because they don't see it coming. So, obviously we're getting ready for that. We're getting ready for all sorts of different angles, punches that he throws, because he's not one of those clean fighters that throws that jab straight and then the right hand coming in, then the uppercut. You don't know where it's coming. So you got to be prepared for all those different shots. But at the same time that I'm studying him, I'm pretty sure he's studying me. He's studying my left hook. So, I can't depend all on the left hook. I've never actually depended on him. That's one of my favorite shots. But I've never really actually depended on, I'm going to knock him out with this left hook. I always try to do different things with my jab, or maybe my over right hand, or dig into the body.
Even Burchell, you never visualize in camp that it's going to, I'm going to
that would actually be the only case where I personally heard it from my trainer, Eddie Reynoso, say, you're going to knock him out with this one and this one. You're going to hit him to the body, and you're going to hit him with this one. And we worked it, and when I knocked him out, the first thing that went to my head was, pinche Eddie, you were right. Because we were working on those shots constantly. So, fighters out there, they're studying us, obviously, like the same way we're studying them. So I'm pretty sure, they're being cautious towards that left hook. So I'm just going to try to be the better fighter, not depend on one shot, doing different things, head movements, and working to the body, and just overall the smarter brawler inside the ring.
Not visualizing it like you did the Burchell fight, not that particular sequence of shots. No.
So I always visualize myself winning.
Right.
There was not like the Burchell fight. That was something completely different. That was just amazing how it worked out. When we were working on the same punches, and it turned out to be the same thing in the fight. So, but Burchell's a fighter who's a little bit more taller and different. There is a different style than Vaquero. Vaquero is you gotta be worried. You gotta be cautious and prepared for all different angles. So Vaquero, the Burchell's punches are straight shots, so it's easier to move. And Vaquero style, they're coming from different angles, so it's like we always gotta be prepared for those. So you can most definitely not always prepare yourself for the same style always. This is a different style. We've never faced this type of style, but we're going to be ready. We're going to be ready, you know, cautious, looking at all different sorts of angles because we've seen it before. You know, I look at the tapes, I look at the uppercut. So, you know, I get this question a lot. Well, not from reporters, but from my friends, and they say, "Oh, you're going to get him with this left hook," and it's like, it's a little too good to be true. If it happens, it happens, but a little too good to be true right now. So I can't depend on that one because if you only got one arm and they take it away from you, it's like, what are you going to do? So right now I'm working on all different types of arsenal, so to have in the bag when we fight.
And speaking of just last couple, man, speaking of all the different styles that you have to face and the differences, what's the differences and the challenges in facing fighters like Berchelt, Navarrete, who are trying to take your head off, versus a guy like Stevenson, completely different styles? Yeah, what's the differences in the challenge?
It's way different. It's way different, and it's very frustrating. Very frustrating because, you know, a lot of times when I got my opponent in there and I'm look at the distance, and I think that's always something I've always had very well since I was a little kid. I've always been good in my distance. Just a step forward, enough to where I can land my shot, land my jab. But it's always been like that. And, you know, fighters like that, you know, any type of fighter, I fought all types of styles. And they all have that where I got my position. And at least I land my jab. Maybe I'll miss my right hand, but then I land another one. And I'm close enough to land another one. I'm going to miss a couple, but I'm going to land. With Shakur, I will see his face right here. And I got you. And throw it. And he would just rock back a little bit. And just by a little bit, I would have hit him. And that was one of the most frustrating things that could have happened to me because you know, I worked so hard for that. I worked so hard, and I had a perfect sparring. Imitate his style. It was, you know, perfect sparring, perfect workout, perfect game plan. Everything was great till the night of the fight. You know, I thought I had him for a moment, and then he just slipped away. And it wasn't like he was running either. He was just right in front of you. It's almost like he's
by an inch.
Like if he's mocking you, challenging you, like, come on, hit me. And he hits you, and you just rock back a little bit, and your punches comes right here. That's as close as it got to my shot landing. So it was very frustrating fighting Shakur, and then, you know, take my hat off of him because he's a guy I could see him being one of the greats because he's so defensively, you know, he's got a ring IQ like none other that I've seen. So yeah, so, you know, much respect to Shakur. I wish him nothing but the best. You know,
should he take 25% against Haney, or is he right in feeling like he's worth more?
That's a tough one. That's one where he calls the shots. Because if I was in this position, I would probably take the 25%. But that's just me because I've been doing this ever since I was a little kid. As far as like, all right, if you win this fight, then the next fight you're gonna get paid big. And then if I fight this one, it's like, oh, but if maybe the next time you might, you know, have a better shot. And so it's like for me, I just got used to it. So just accumulating what I get is just enough for me to be accumulating and having a good lifestyle. You know, being and having enough to feed my family and to support my grandmother, my mother, and my father, and my children, and everything. So it's just been enough for that. So, but in Shakur's eyes, you know, that would be an answer that only Shakur can answer because. Yeah. If you take that 25%, it's like you're kind of being laughed at by somebody who's the A side, yeah, because he has the belts, but is really the A side because Shakur Stevenson is also a dog, is also a top fighter. But I don't know. I think I would, but I mean, it's understandable if Shakur doesn't take the 25% because at the same time, it's kind of a slap in the face. It's kind of disrespectful for Shakur, you know. So it's like only because they're both high level fighters, you know.
Would he win that fight? I'm gonna put you on the spot. Would he win that fight?
I don't know, man. I don't know. I can only talk from fighters that I've fought. If I were to fight Haney, I could probably say, you know what, Haney does this better. But I don't know what Haney's advantages are. You know, maybe my style fits perfect with David Haney, but doesn't fit for Shakur. So it's very tough to call those fights. And I said it before in the Lomachenko and David Haney fight. You know, for me, if I'm a betting man, I will stay away because I could see David Haney winning before the fight. You know, I was like, thinking about the styles. Like, man, I could see David Haney winning because Lomachenko is an older fighter. And then I will go back and think about the fight and say, oh, wow, no, Lomachenko could win this fight because he does this and does that. He's not old. He hasn't been touched. And sure enough, it was a great fight. It was a great fight for Lomachenko. But it's just styles make the fights. And someone like Shakur, I can only speak for Shakur because I fought him. It's very difficult to hit him, but I don't got the reach advantage that Devin Haney has. So maybe Devin Haney has more chances of landing those shots. But all I can say is Shakur Stevenson is not easy to hit. For that guy is not easy to hit. He's got the speed. He's got everything. I don't feel he doesn't try to hit hard. I don't know if he hits hard because when he was hitting me, he was just pretty much just out pointing me. Maybe if he tries to land that shot, risking a little bit, he might have the shot to drop his opponents, which he has shown in the past. But it's a tough one to call. So, but if I'm picking a side, that's the main question. I'm going with Shakur only because I know the way that it feels like being in there with him.
Absolutely. And, I would love to be greedy and keep talking boxing with you, man. But there's other people who want to talk to you before August 12th in Arizona. Can't wait to see the fight, man. I'll see you out there, Oscar. If there's anything else you want to say to the fans, to the public, to Navarrete, go for it, brother.
Oh, thanks. First of all, just like always, just want to thank everybody. Thank everybody for who have been with me, ups and downs. Remember 2001 being a rough year for me, being the best year, and then turned out to be the worst year for me. And then all those people who've been with me, riding with me, and being loyal, and just being a fan in general. I thank each and every one of them. And I fight obviously for me and for my family. It's my biggest motivation. But I like to fight and I like to look as my little self. When I was watching Eddie Morales and Marco Antonio Barrera, those guys inspired me so much that when I'm in the ring, I want to inspire the new generation the same way they inspired me. So every time I step in the ring, just know that I'm giving my best and fighting with my heart out and trying to do as much as I can to give you guys what you guys want, which is a good fight.
You're carrying the torch forward from guys like Barrera and Morales. So thank you. Thank you, Oscar.
All right, brother.
Take care. Thanks, guys. Have a good one.